Do you know how to protect yourself when an earthquake strikes? Hey, I'm Mario Lopez. Earthquakes can strike anytime, so learning and practicing earthquake safety is a great idea for everyone. Join us, along with millions of people worldwide, to learn how to drop, cover, and hold on during the Great Shakeout. We're all in this together, so make sure your home, workplace, school, and community are planning to shake out.
Join us for the Great Shakeout. Learn more at shakeout.org. Shakeout Day is October 15th.
When the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Have you removed objects from over the bed and over your head? Anchored your possessions securely to the wall. It won't be a pain, and you're not doing it in vain. Are your emergency kits packed? What about your family, your friends? Did they know what to do, how to get in touch, and where to meet? Do you know how to drop, cover, and hold on, covering your head and neck? What if you're outside? Or in a car? After the shaking stops, look around. Figure out what to do. Stay away from damaged areas. Turn on a radio. Reach out for help. And if you're trapped, do not move about. Stay calm. Only shout as a last resort. Once everything and everyone is safe, get prepared. An aftershock could be on its way. So before the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, get prepared. Make a plan. Practice what you know, because an earthquake can happen anytime, anywhere. You never know.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Great Online Shakeout. This is our first time ever hosting something like this through Facebook Live. This is actually our Central US version as well, starting at 9:45 Central Time, and we're going to conclude at 10:20 Central Time. Now, we also have captions available for today. I want everyone to know that. And to access those captions, it's going to be through a separate window, which is going to be through the link shown here on the screen, bit.ly or bit.ly/shakeoutcc to view those closed captions. And we are going to try and respond to all of your comments as we have here on the video that you're watching right below. If we miss something, we will try to get back to it later. We know we're all one big happy Shakeout family here today, just kind of going through a lot of different resources, a drill we'll have coming up to at 10:15, and videos and many other highlights. So I'm going to turn it over to Mark, who is going to now intro some of our speakers and talk about ShakeOut a little bit relative to the region. Mark, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Jason. And thank you all for joining us today for the Great Shakeout, and which is really, happening around the world. Started in New Zealand almost 12 hours or more ago, and has wrapped its way around the world and is now coming up on the Central US time zone, where you'll be able to participate live with all of us and many other people who are doing drills on-site at schools and businesses, as well as doing their own online drills. We will be joined today by several partners from the Central US, and we'll be introducing them and speaking with them in a few moments. The schedule is after we hear from them and watch a video, we're going to get some last-minute instructions for doing your Shakeout drill. We will do right at 10:15 a drill that you'll hear a narration and some sound effects to kind of let you know when to start and when to stop your drill, and there'll be options for how you participate. And then we'll have some final discussion. So we'll be done by around 10:20. So of course, Great Shakeout earthquake drills are an annual event where people can practice how to be safe during earthquakes, and it's schools, organizations, families from near you and far from you around the world participating together. And, and last year we had record-breaking participation in terms of numbers of participants across the United States, across the world. And this year it's not like that. And of course, it's because of the pandemic, and many organizations and even countries are not doing the types of drills that they normally do this year. But it's really great to see how many people are still having drills and doing what they can to be keeping that practicing going, that builds that muscle memory so that you can react quickly when the shaking starts. You can always go to shakeout.org, or even in Spanish, shakeout.org/Espanol, to register to find out more. Find the Central US Shakeout section to get local resources for you from the region and from your state. Now, this year, we're also recognizing that, as always, earthquakes and earthquake drills don't always have to happen on a Thursday at 10:15 a.m. So if you haven't done a group drill with your coworkers or family or friends or others, you can still do that on another day and have another drill. You'll be doing it with us today, but it's always great to have more time to practice earthquake safety. And that they don't always happen when everybody's together. Like, a lot of people aren't together right now. We're all working from home or doing distant learning. And so you can adapt your drill to those environments, because you're not always going to be together when an earthquake happens. And so how do you start to come back together after an earthquake, if it's at night or on the weekend, and you need to, and you work together and you need to figure out how you're going to reopen. So it's good to have drills at different times in different ways. And one of the ways that people are doing their earthquake drills this year is through video conferencing, like we're doing, but maybe even within their own classroom or workplace, everybody wherever they are joining together and practicing earthquake safety. But if you are doing an in-person drill, it's also important to keep the pandemic considerations in mind, have space between people when you're doing the drill. And if you're going down and under a table or desk and holding on to something that maybe hasn't been cleaned recently, make sure you're washing your hands afterwards before you're touching your face. Those simple guidelines. So one key aspect too is we'd like you to share your shakeout. So that means taking photos and videos of your drill. Don't try to do a selfie as much, because then you're not really doing the right position, but pass the camera around, take pictures. You can then upload those to social media or save to online storage. Use the hashtag ShakeOut if you post online, like on Twitter and Facebook and et cetera, and Instagram. That way others can find it. But also, please go to shakeout.org/share and share those links so that we can look and find the best photos and videos that we can from what I'll get submitted that we'll post on the ShakeOut website. Now we'd like to bring in our regional partners from the Central US. And if everybody can turn your cameras on, and I'll stop, as soon as I introduce everybody, I'll stop sharing the slides too. We have Brian Blake, Associate Director from the Central US Earthquake Consortium. Jasmine Johnson Divinity, the Earthquake Program Manager for Mississippi Emergency Management Agency. And Jeff Briggs, Earthquake Program Manager for Missouri State Emergency Management Agency. We weren't able to be joined by Hilda from Arkansas this morning. And helping us with the chat also is Sharon Sandoja-Groot from the Southern California Earthquake Center, where Jason and I are also based. ShakeOut got started back in 2008 in Southern California and has spread across the country. And in fact, Brian from Central US Earthquake Consortium, you were very involved in bringing it to the Central US. What was the reason it got started back in 2011?
Yeah, actually, we learned from you guys out in California that you had a successful statewide earthquake drill in California there in 2009, and we wanted to kind of replicate that in our region, because we have earthquake hazards here with the New Madrid seismic zone, Wabash Valley. There's the Charleston, South Carolina earthquake hazards, Virginia, North Carolina, all these other places. So we wanted to kind of do something similar here and have sort of a preparedness movement, if you will, that could engage citizens in earthquake and disaster preparedness and give communities something to do to be better prepared for earthquakes.
And I know that you have some core states that have been involved from the very beginning and others that have joined in too. It kind of expanded the region. But I know core states include from the very beginning Mississippi. And Jasmine, you're there in Mississippi Emergency Management. How has ShakeOut been this year? What have you done anything new to help promote participation?
Yes, ShakeOut has been very, very different this year, especially with COVID-19 affecting everything. But we have made a way to get around that. We've purchased billboards, put up to advertise about the ShakeOut. We've let everybody know that they can do it virtually. Even though we couldn't visit the kids in school with one-on-one contact like we normally would, we did still stop by and drop off like the comic books and share the video virtually through email that you guys sent. And also we had our own video that we produced demonstrating different things that in different situations that you might come in contact with the earthquake. For example, if you are disabled, how to react to an earthquake, if you're outside, if you're driving. So we had to get real creative on how we can broadcast and advertise this time,
Sure.
But we worked it out.
Well, that's great. And you do have quite a few participants this year. So
yes,
it turned out. Yes. Also been involved from the start is Missouri. And Jeff, what's been different this year?
Well, thank you, Mark, and thank you to the ShakeOut folks and to CUSEC, because we could not do this without you guys. We share a lot of the info you put out for us. It has been different for us this year because, as Jasmine mentioned, we can't do the one-on-one stuff that we like to do with the visits and the demonstrations in the schools and things like that. But I think we found a few ways to work within our limitations and still get the word out. We've still got about 350,000 people signed up in Missouri, so that's still a pretty good number, and we appreciate those folks that have stayed up with us. We try to get the word out in unique ways that don't involve us being there with them. For example, we did a Facebook Live event where myself and the Missouri Geologic Survey talked with folks. We did Q&As, did giveaways live on Facebook for about an hour, and that's got over 30,000 views. So we're really pleased with that. We've more focused on some digital outreach than we have in past years. We've invested just a little bit of money in things like ads in front of YouTube videos or ads on radio or on Pandora and Spotify, things like that. Just quick hits where we remind people, consider signing up. Did you know that there's a risk? Did you know about the drop, cover, and hold on technique? So things like that we use to reach out to people. We think it's been pretty effective. And even if the registration numbers are not as high as they have been in the past, we know some people have registered, and there are a whole lot of people that may not register, but that now know that the risk exists in the central US, and they know about the drop, cover, and hold on technique. So that's what we're really going for here.
That's great, Jeff. And I appreciate what you're doing there in Missouri. My parents live in central Missouri, and my mom is a GED teacher, general education, and she teaches night school, and she's going to be doing the ShakeOut drill tonight with her class. So you don't have to do it all at 10:15 like we're about to. You can do it when you're together with people, or whenever you want to have your drill, even when you're doing it on video conferencing on Zoom or other services. Okay, now, Brian, anything else from CUSEC, Central U.S. Earthquake Consortium, happening this year?
Really, this is our big awareness push right now. We've been doing a lot of work with the states to produce new materials. Jasmine mentioned, let me see if I can get lined up this time. We just did a comic book called Without Warning that was adapted from a comic that they did out in Oregon. And it's jam full and action packed, and it follows a character as she experiences an earthquake, and then what's kind of the aftermath and how they get through that. So it's really a nice product. We've been working with Tennessee on some of these Go Kit passports that people can provide or that emergency managers here in Tennessee are providing to citizens to help fill out emergency information for things that they might need after a disaster. And we've also been working on some 2 weeks ready materials and campaigns that we're going to be doing over the next we'd hope to start doing them now, but we're going to be doing them over the next year or so as Earthquake Awareness Week comes along in our neck of the woods, and that's usually in February of every year is Earthquake Awareness Week and Earthquake Awareness Month. So we got a lot going on about how to get prepared, what people need to do, how they can stay safe, secure things around their homes, and those sorts of things.
That's right.
And it's just important that people start to get prepared, and that's what we're trying to do.
Brian, can you go ahead and mention your website where those resources and information will be available?
Our website is www.cusec.org, and Jason, maybe if you could link that in the comments there, but that's spelled CUSEC.org, like Central U.S. Earthquake Consortium.
And it will be at the end of the video that we're about to watch.
Right. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and watch this next video, and then we're going to learn about the options you have for participating in an earthquake drill, how to in different ways. So just 1 second, get this started.
You want me to intro that, Mark?
Yeah, go ahead and do the intro while I get it queued up here.
Okay, so we just recently created several videos for ourselves and our states also, and as well that can be used nationally for ShakeOut for COVID. And this one we're going to watch is one we did specifically for virtual learners and homeschool students who are not in traditional school right now. So the video looks at several things that they can do themselves and with their families to get better prepared for earthquakes. And this, we have one for virtual students and also one for remote workers as well. And feel free to use these, watch them, download them, and share them with your friends and family as well. So we're going to watch the virtual learners one right now.
Did you know earthquakes can strike at any time? Even if they may not happen very often, it's good to be prepared. Whether you are a homeschool student or a virtual learner this year, there are things you can do at home to get better prepared for earthquakes. First, you and your parents can put together a family emergency plan and organize a survival kit with at least 2 weeks of disaster supplies, such as food, water, medication, flashlights, a weather radio, clothing, and other items you may need. You can also create a grab-and-go bag in case you need to leave your house quickly. Put a few supplies in the bag along with important information you might need, such as contact numbers, medical, or other important information. With your parents' help, you can secure furniture or top-heavy items, such as bookshelves and TVs, or your water heater, to prevent them from falling and injuring someone. You can also move unsecured large and heavy objects away from places where people sit, sleep, or spend a lot of time. And every year, there is a worldwide earthquake safety drill known as the Great Shakeout. The drill helps people get better prepared for earthquakes. This year is no different. Most shakeout drills will be occurring between October and the end of the year. To participate, you just need to practice, drop, cover, and hold on. This means if you feel an earthquake, you should drop to the ground or get as low as possible. Cover your head with your arm and if possible, crawl under a sturdy object like a nearby desk or table. Then, hold on to your position until the shaking stops and it is safe to move. After you watch this video, practice drop, cover, hold on for at least 30 seconds. That's all you have to do to participate in the world's largest earthquake drill. By doing this and the other activities mentioned, you'll be on your way to being better prepared for an earthquake. Visit ShakeOut.org to find out more about staying safe during an earthquake. There are also great resources available from the Central U.S. Earthquake Consortium, the California Earthquake Country Alliance, FEMA, and Ready.gov.
Very nice video from the Central United States Earthquake Consortium. And now I want to get us ready for the drill. And there's probably no better person to do that than Mark Benthien, who is our global ShakeOut coordinator. And the drill will be at 10:15 Central. So Mark, do you want to walk us through how do we do earthquake drills? How do we stay safe in a variety of situations and so forth?
Thank you, Jason. I'm going to show this slide once more for people who would like to see the captioning. Make sure that they're aware that captioning is available, bit.ly/shakeoutcc. And then also remind everybody that you can be taking pictures and videos and sharing that, share the ShakeOut. So coming up here, you might take turns holding the camera, showing your pictures, and really the more that you can have pictures that really show the guidance I'm about to share with you, the more likely we might put your pictures and videos on the ShakeOut website as examples to others. So we'll talk about the way to do that again in a moment. So of course, we're about to join millions of people in the central US and right now at 10:15 local time, but also around the world, many more who are practicing earthquake safety. It's really about protecting yourself from all the things that fall and are flying around during an earthquake, all the objects, TVs, furniture, small items, that if they were to fall or fly at you would cause injury or damage. And there's a lot of ways to be safe during earthquakes. We list them all with guidance at earthquakecountry.org/step 5. Part of the 7 steps to earthquake safety, what to do during the earthquake, step 5, and at terremotos.org/paso 5. So if there is a table or desk nearby, and I'll talk about what to do if there's not next, but if there is, you want to drop where you are onto your hands and knees. You want to cover your head and neck with one arm and hand as much as up and your elbow as high as possible. So you're really protecting your head with your arm over your neck as best as you can. And then if there's something nearby, you're going to crawl underneath it for additional shelter. Stay on your knees and bend over to protect your vital organs, and hold on to the shelter with your other hand while keeping that one arm there, so that you really just pretend to protect yourself even if things are coming in from the side. But being under that shelter is hopefully going to protect you from a lot of flying or falling objects. Now, if there is nothing that you can get under nearby, you're still going to drop where you are. That's because we don't want you running. We don't want you to getting in a doorway. We don't want you to be running outside. That's when people actually get more likely to get injured from the motion, from tripping, from falling, or from being exposed to more things as you're moving. So you want to drop where you are, then cover your head and neck again, and then crawl next to a wall away from windows. In this video, there was like a counter there, so you're limiting the direction that things can be coming at you by being up against that wall. And you want to then hold on to your head and neck with both arms and hands, just really providing as much protection as possible. Now, if you cannot get back up again when you get down, don't get down in the first place. You might stay seated, you might or sit down. You want to get yourself stable. If you're using a wheelchair or walker, which I'll show in a moment, you can lock the wheels or set the brake, and then bend over and cover your head and neck with your arms. So coming up at 10:15, if you don't want to, or you cannot get down on the ground to do drop, cover, hold on, I'm about to show you some alternative ways that you can protect yourself. And a lot of these are described in a video and other resources at earthquakecountry.org/disability. So this video, I'm not going to show the whole video right now, but I'm just showing you that at the start of the video, there's an index that shows what's included and the time code. So you can go to earthquakecountry.org/disability. You can view this video. You can also view it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/greatshakeout. One example from the video, just a picture from it, is someone using a power wheelchair, recognizing that the earthquake is happening, moving to that interior wall because he's not going to get out of the chair and get under something, locking the wheels by actually turning off the power to the power chair, and then covering his head because he had a folder, putting that over his head, making it even a better protection from things that might be falling. Now, if someone was in a manual wheelchair, as this woman is here, she's locking setting the brake, locking the wheel, and then also bending over as far as she can, making it herself a smaller target, actually putting her laptop up above her head. And that's what she had available. You really it's all about situational awareness. What can you do to protect yourself from falling or flying objects? The woman on the right is using a walker type, rollator type walker, and sitting down and setting that brake. And she could have perhaps even sat in the seat that comes there, but there was a chair nearby, so she sat there. She's not able to get her hands up and over her head and neck, so she's doing as best she can, covering the sides of her head. And then if someone was using a walker without brakes and seats and such, again, it's about her getting down, getting low, hopefully lower than the top of the walker as much as possible, so that you're protected if things were to hit that before they hit you. And then if you're in different situations, such as in a high rise, you don't want to evacuate during the shaking. Certainly, going downstairs can be very dangerous during shaking. You want to drop cover, hold on, move away from the windows in case the building is swaying. You don't want to be too near the window. And also, if you're in bed during an earthquake, you want to turn over, lay face down with a pillow over your head, as this excerpt from the video is showing, this animated GIF image. And you see her putting her shoes on at the end. She actually has a bag with shoes in it that's a closed bag that's then tied to the bed. That's really smart, because your shoes, if you just put them next to your bed and the earthquake's happening, everything's going to be shifting around. You might not be able to find the shoes. And if there's glass that's broken, that might get into your shoes. So have an old pair of shoes that you can put in a bed, in a bag, tie it and put it under your bed, maybe with a flashlight, maybe an old pair of glasses too, because your glasses that you put on your nightstand, you might not be able to find those either, but you'll be able to find that bag. Then if you're in a stadium or theater, you're going to get down low, get below the level, the top of the backrest again, so things hit that and not you. And if you're in a store, getting next to your shopping cart if you have one, or between clothing racks, or even in that first level of a warehouse store, like a home improvement store, get into the racks, because things falling up above can be quite heavy, and you don't want to get hit by those. Again, all this and many other situations you can find at the website shown here, earthquakecountry.org/step5 and terremotos.org/paso cinco. Now, we also have this great video for young children, but it's really great for everyone that kind of sums up a lot of the guidance here. So I'm about to play that now.
But what do we do if we're at home and an earthquake is actually happening? That's easy. Drop, cover, and hold on. Drop to a safe place and hold on. If you aren't near a table, get against a wall or away from anything that could fall. Get down, cover your head and neck, and hold on. If you're in bed, turn face down to protect your belly. Cover your head and neck with a pillow, and don't leave the bed. If you're in a wheelchair, lock your wheels so your chair can't roll around in the shaking. Get as small as you can and cover your head and neck with something strong, like a book. Now, how about if an earthquake happens when you're outside? In that case, stay away from buildings, windows, trees, telephone poles, or anything that could fall on you. Get on the ground and cover your head and neck.
As this says, this is actually a short excerpt from about a 5-minute video that you can find at rocketrules.org/earthquake, or just look around, you'll find the earthquake content. They also have great new booklets that you can download for free, activity books for young children, like coloring pages and other activities, and a storybook. Go to rocketrules.org/earthquake, and you can download those resources and also watch this video. They have many other great safety resources for different situations besides earthquakes as well. Okay, so we're coming up on 10:15 Central Time, and I want to just remind everybody, or to say, of course, be careful. This is about practicing safety safely. It's not about being fast, and you want to make sure you're not hitting your head and doing these things. So one key aspect, if you're listening with headphones on that are wired, you may want to disconnect it from your computer, or make sure that if you go down that you're not going to be pulling your computer down because you're connected through the headphones. So you might want to remove that. You also should, if there's other people around you and they don't know that what you're watching and that what you're about to do, you might want to let them know and encourage them to join you, so that they're not surprised when you're all of a sudden getting down and practicing earthquake safety. And also there, in the video I'm about to show, there is narration and some earthquake sound effects. So they may be surprised when they start to hear all the rumbling and other sounds that are going to be coming. So let them know about that. And really encourage them to participate with you. So all of the different actions that I've shown you are options for what you can do. You can just bend over, cover your head and neck, and you can get down on the ground. You can get next to a wall. So just keep all that in mind. We're coming up on 10:15, and we're going to play the drill, and you can join with us. And there will be a narration, so you can just follow along to what the narrator is saying about when to drop, cover, and hold on. And then when the drill is over, that he'll tell you, and you can come back up.
And you can see us also do the drill with you too. If we want to enable everyone's video again, that'd be great. All of us as presenters too.
Like Mark said, earthquakes don't always happen on Thursdays at 10:15. So
Earthquake drills may, but the real earthquake won't. So, all right.
This is the Great Shakeout, one of the largest earthquake drills ever. Practice now so you can protect yourself during a real earthquake. This is an earthquake drill. Right now, drop, cover, and hold on. Drop to the floor now. During a large earthquake, the ground might jerk strongly and knock you down. Take cover under something sturdy to protect yourself from objects that can be thrown across a room. Hold on to your shelter until the shaking stops. If you can't get under something, stay low and protect your head and neck with your arms. Now look around. What objects might fall or be thrown at you that you should secure in place before a real earthquake? Finally, a strong earthquake may cause a tsunami. If you're near the ocean during an earthquake, drop cover and hold on. Then quickly walk to high ground after the shaking stops. This drill is over. Visit ShakeOut.org for simple steps to help you survive and recover from a major earthquake. Thank you for taking part in the Great Shakeout.
Yay!
Great job, everyone.
Great job, everyone. We did it. We did the drill. We did our shakeout drill.
all right.
Yes.
So like in a real earthquake drill that you might organize with your family or coworkers or at school, when you do the drill, it's also great to have some discussion afterwards to everybody to kind of share what they may have learned. And so you might ask some questions, you know, what did you learn by practicing? Often people find out that the desk that they're at is too small for them to get under, and they have to maybe do something different. Or maybe they need to move items that are underneath the desk to so make room for that to be a safe space. Did anybody of our panelists learn something today from doing the drill?
Let Jasmine and
Well,
Jeff.
this was my first drill, and I'm super excited. I have learned a lot, especially with the drop, cover, and hold on. I didn't know the exact techniques. Actually, I'm one of those people that thought standing in the threshold of a doorway was the way, but I've learned that that is old and out. So I have learned a lot from this drill. It was fun.
Thanks, Jasmine. And I'll just mention that imagine that it's a really long time ago kind of belief that doorways were stronger and were going to protect you. But I always say, imagine, you know, you're in a doorway and the whole building's and everything's falling around you. Is it not going to fall into the doorway and things crash in there too? Is there some sort of magic force field around the door frame that's going to keep that space safe? So probably not. And also you're not gonna be able to stand up and hold on during a strong shaking. And what if there were 5 people in one door? You'd want to be the one that got to it first. So there's all sorts of reasons why we no longer recommend drop, cover, hold on. Of course, you're also looking at protect yourself from falling or flying objects. And so as the video said, you want to look around, what can you move? like everybody right now listening, is there something that was heavy that if it were to fall on you, if that earthquake could happen like in the next 10 minutes for real, if you were to move it and move it lower, would you be perhaps not hit by that coming down? Or can you secure things so that they won't fall and there's a whole bunch of ways that you can do that. Earthquakecountry.org/7 steps says the 7 steps to earthquake safety. Step 1, we call secure your space. So securing furniture, TVs, other objects so they won't fall. You can learn about all of these types of preparedness activities there and at ready.gov and at the CUSEC.org website and on the website for Missouri and Mississippi and all the states that have a lot of information about preparedness. And, look at that, share it with others. Brian, you shared a lot of resources that CUSEC has available. As we start to wrap up, does anybody have any final comments?
I'll tell you, this is Jeff in Missouri. I appreciate doing this. This is several times I've done it. I learned that my wife and I can both get under the kitchen table. So that's a good thing. There's a big old ceiling fan right above our kitchen table too. So I was reminded that I need to make sure that thing is well secured. And how about that? Our cat actually joined us for the drill. So the whole family was safe. So there's a bonus there. So awesome. It's always great practice. Thank you.
Someone actually brought up, what do you do about pets? And we know that you can't really train a pet necessarily, but there are some special animals like your cat, Jeff, that wanted to join the drill. However, when real shaking happens, should you go run after your pet or what should you do? Who wants to answer that?
I would say, I hope my pet joins me, but if he doesn't, he's on his own. I've got to keep myself protected.
That's right.
Yep.
Any last closing thoughts from you guys, from our state and regional presenters?
No, I would just
go ahead. Real quick, thanks to Brian and CUSEC. Thank you so much for all the resources that you guys have provided. We really appreciate it here at MEMA. We really do.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks, all of you. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Mark and Sharon. We're going to actually stop our live stream, but the fun can still continue. Go register your participation in the drill today at ShakeOut.org. And we appreciate everyone being here. Thank you so much. Happy International Shakeout Day. Until next time.